Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/infidelity, where OP can't move on from his wife's disgusting actions. Let's begin. Today I fucked up when I offered my coworker a ride home. Posted by Reddit user No Helmets in Hell.
Last night I offered one of my coworkers a ride home after work. My coworker is an intern. An attractive intern, not gonna lie. However, I've never been tempted to cross that line because 1, we work together, and 2, the age gap. That being said, despite my professional and platonic relationship with my coworker, I still managed to end up in a temporary love triangle somehow. To pick up where I left off in my opening line, she accepted my offer to drop her off at her apartment when we were done working. On our way, she answered a phone call from her boyfriend. I had no idea what the boyfriend was saying, but based on my coworker's unexpectedly candid responses, it became obvious that her boyfriend was upset at her for posting a photo on social media of her drinking somewhere with random guys. My coworker explained that the random guys actually worked with her, and the photos were taken during our monthly office party. She apologized for not telling her boyfriend about it before posting the pictures, but she refused to apologize for enjoying drinks with colleagues. The conversation between my coworker and her boyfriend became more and more heated, especially when she started using words like insecure, immature, and jealous to respond to her boyfriend. I was doing my best to not look like I was eavesdropping, even though it was impossible not to. At some point during the argument, I low-key had to use made-up sign language to communicate to my coworker that I didn't know where I was going and that she was supposed to be navigating the way to her apartment. She was listening to her boyfriend talking at that moment, but she had no problem giving me verbal instructions at the same time. The boyfriend must have realized his girlfriend was in the car with a person of interest because my coworker's next response to him was nope. Not in an Uber, one of the guys at work offered to drive me home. She listened and listened and listened while shaking her head and rolling eyes before opening her mouth and suddenly saying yes, he is one of the guys in the fucking photo. In fact, he's the tall guy on the far left with the cute dimples. It was literally the first compliment I've gotten from the opposite sex about my looks since my girlfriend broke up with me a couple of years ago. I was so caught off guard with the cute dimples line that I momentarily stopped focusing on the road and stared at my coworker with deer in headlights eyes. My coworker hung up on her boyfriend and said I just missed the turnoff. What was supposed to be a 10-minute drive to my coworker's apartment turned into a 25-minute journey because of my lack of concentration. The boyfriend called again a few minutes later and my coworker had to explain to him why she was still on the road and not at home yet. I didn't have to hear what my coworker's boyfriend was saying to know that he did not like the fact that his girlfriend was still with the cute dimples guy. My coworker eventually became so frustrated, she switched to Danish mid-argument, her native language. I think she assumed I wouldn't understand what she was saying, but I did. My best friend is Scandinavian. When we got high together, he never spoke English, which kind of forced me to learn what he was talking about. My coworker, now speaking Danish to her boyfriend, apologized for upsetting him and said that he had no reason to feel threatened because she would never cheat on him with anyone, especially not with the guys at work. So there I was, still high on the cute dimples compliment, when I heard my coworker roast all the guys she worked with, including me. I guess she was doing it to convince her boyfriend that he was better than us and kind of boost his ego in the process because she really made us sound bad. She said I never blink my eyes and that I walk like I'm riding an invisible bicycle. On top of that, she said my voice was so husky it made her feel like she needed to clear her throat every time she heard me talk. The tension between my coworker and her boyfriend died down because she was laughing and talking dirty in Danish. When I finally made it to her apartment, I didn't even bother saying goodnight. All I did was smile and wave before leaving. I wish I never offered to drive her home. That was an uncomfortable experience. Monday is gonna be awkward at the office for me. TLDR, offered to drive my coworker home and became privy to an argument between her and her boyfriend on the phone that culminated with her telling him how unattractive I am.
Well, OP, the lesson of that experience is that you should never offer her a ride ever again. Also, do some petty revenge on her for insulting you. Maybe do a quick cuff and then greet her in Danish. Let her struggle with how much you understood that night. And now for today's second story. Is my wife cheating again? Oh, great. You forgave a cheater. Well, I'm assuming you're living a miserable life right now, aren't you, OP? And this one is posted by Reddit user Double Border.
We've been together for 17 years, 3 years dating and 14 married. In 2018, my wife had an affair. She admitted eventually, but she trickle-truthed me for 3 years first. We recovered. I was happy, but there was a level of trust gone.
Why didn't you dodge?
Here we are a year and a half later. She went on a work trip. She's had multiple work trips, but my gut was definitely telling me something was off. We played phone tag for most of the day of suspicion. She had tried to call me at 6:30 p.m., but I was trying to get dinner for the kids ready, and then get our 2-year-old a bath and then bed. We have 3 kids, a 15-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 2-year-old. Our 2-year-old is autistic and she goes through seizures multiple times a day. The suspect is gelastic seizures. Have an MRI scheduled at the end of July to confirm. It's absolutely crushing to see her go through this. I'm doing everything I can to keep her safe and comfortable during an episode. All of that being said, I sat down on the couch around 9:30 p.m. and dozed off. I woke up to my phone buzzing at 1 a.m. First thing, I apologized for not calling back due to me falling asleep, and I asked how her day was. She said it was good, just typical work stuff, and asked what she had for dinner. She said she had a burger at the hotel bar around 7 p.m. She specifically pointed out that she ate alone. I asked her why she didn't try to call any earlier. Her response, "I figured you were busy." She then told me that she had been talking with 2 of her best friends all night. This is pretty much all we talked about that night, so fast forward to the next night when she got home. Damn near first thing we talked about in our room was my suspicions of the night before. I asked how long she was talking to her friends again. She said for most of the night. I asked for her phone and she gave it to me with no resistance. I looked at call log and texts. Friend number 1, she spoke to for 8 minutes on a call that ended at 5:30 p.m. Friend number 2, she exchanged text messages until 7:30 p.m. In those texts with friend number 2, she specifically told her friend that she was eating and having a beer by herself at the hotel bar. My gut is telling me that she texted that to her for me to read later. I could be wrong about that for sure. 2 things about my wife is 1, she exhibits all the traits of narcissistic personality disorder. She lies all the time.
Why are you still here?
And 2, during the entire conversation she was nervous, breathing heavily, and would always avert her eyes if I held eye contact longer than 3 seconds. She started to deflect, telling me that I'm making up stuff in my head and that I'm looking for a way out of the marriage. I shut down. More of my soul died that day and I've been miserable ever since.
Oh, is that right? Well, I sure hope somebody picks up that phone, because I f***ing called it!
It's like my world just turned gray and I'm operating like a robot. I'm terrified to leave. I'm scared that the kids won't get the time and attention they deserve, and I'm terrified that if I leave, I know I won't get to spend every day possible with our 2-year-old. I can't believe I'm even saying this, but we have no idea what our 2-year-old is going to go through. Are my suspicions valid? Am I overthinking? My gut definitely feels off. I'm honestly not sure how much more I can carry on my shoulders. For the first time in my life, I don't have a plan. I'm normally able to come up with a plan or strategy pretty easily, but now I don't know where to start, what to think, what to believe, or what to do. Any advice or thoughts are greatly appreciated. Please give me your opinion without sugarcoating it. What you have to say could be exactly what I need hear or read. Thank you. Edit. Thank you everyone. Every comment here has been helpful, but most of all insightful. One more question. If you accuse someone of cheating and they deny it, why would the significant other want to stay with someone making those accusations?
Gentlemen, I want you to listen to this comment by Reddit user Yellow Bastard.
I truly understand your trepidation about your life going forward. I can't tell you what will happen if you leave, but I can confidently tell you what will happen if you stay. I stayed with my cheating wife and have been with her for 32 years post-affair.
That's stupid! You're stupid! Stop being stupid!
You will never regain your trust in her fully. Never. It's like your ability to fully trust your wife gets amputated from your psyche when they cheat, and like a lost limb, it will never come back. You see, it doesn't even matter if she cheated this time around or not. Your trust in her is gone, and the horrid feeling you are experiencing in the pit of your stomach every time she is on her own will never go away. I am 32 years away from her cheating, and I still wonder who she might be seeing every time she goes to pick up a gallon of milk. It doesn't even have to make sense, and I still get anxious, and this is true even if she isn't cheating. This is your future if you stay with her, which is neither good for you nor your children. And she lied. She didn't speak to her friends all night. She did some texts and an 8-minute call. That's a lie. Cheaters who are reconciling are not allowed to lie in any way, because if they do, reconciliation is doomed to fail. Just one last thing. It is possible that a cheater can reform. If they cheat once and get stomped hard by everyone after doing so, as soon as they cheat a second time, it's all over as they will never stop again. It's now their lifestyle. You need to get on top of this, brother. The next time she tells you that you are looking for an easy way out, tell her to fuck off. The only proper answer to gaslighting like this is fuck off.
Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.